What's good? Welcome back to Kingdom Culture TV.
I know we've been gone for quite a little while, but by the grace of God, we are back.
We're back. We missed you guys. And if you're not following us on our Instagram, follow us on our Instagram because, not because we want more Instagram followers, but because we want to, we do stuff regular on there.
Yeah.
Almost daily, weekly. So if we're not on YouTube, you can catch us
there.
on the ground.
Counseling is great because you learn so much about yourself. It helps your relationship. You get to learn more about your spouse.
Yeah.
You also get to heal from past trauma, which is one of the biggest reasons why many relationships don't work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you end up bringing your past with you into the relationship.
Well, you're gonna bring your past anyway, but
regardless,
you're bringing the little bit of the toxic parts,
that, that pain
the
is
resentment
now, on someone else.
Now you got a punching bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So counseling is great, but the reality is that counseling, come on guys, it's not always affordable.
It can be expensive.
It's money.
Yeah.
And in today's world, we don't really got a whole lot of money.
Yeah. You may have it, you may not. Either way, it's great to learn some stuff on your own and not be dependent on a psychiatrist or psychologist for sessions. Have something in your own arsenal.
So we've compiled a few counseling D.I.Ys that can be super, super helpful. We're not saying take this route. If you can afford it, counseling will be your best friend. But if you can't, this video is for you.
D.I.Y. Welcome to the session.
Kingdom Culture TV.
So tip number 1, guys, both people have to be willing and committed to growth.
Have to.
If both people aren't committed to growth, it's gonna be hard because both people have to realize that yes, you're there to push each other and encourage each other, but at some point, the spouse is gonna have to want it for themselves.
Yep. And if someone else is the one pushing you, eventually that one person is gonna get exhausted.
Yeah, it's just human nature. If I was in a relationship with Milena and I'm always the one that needs the push and needs the encouragement, she's gonna be there and love me along the way. But what happens if she needs that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Bible talks about being unequally yoked, and that can be a form of unequally yoked, where it's one person, it's not about who's weaker or stronger or who's further along. It's about, are you committed? Yeah. Are you willing? Yep. If you're willing, and are you committed to get back up every time you fall? So that's number 1 right off the bat. You gotta want it for yourself.
Tip number 2, give your relationship to God. Keep him right at the center.
Right at the center. Of course, that means just having a relationship with God yourself. Your own devotional time separate from your partner, your own prayer time separate from your partner, and having godly values in your heart. Together have godly values, but also separately, loving God, loving your neighbor as yourself, and really having a heart for him, and that helps you keep God at the center of everything that you do and eventually everything in your relationship.
The reason why we say it's a form of counseling, first of all, God is already the answer for so many things, but both of you guys are being connected through God.
Yeah. I think that's important. And I just something just came to my mind, we're not even married yet. We're engaged, but we had been doing these things that we're telling you for a very long time. Almost at the start of our relationship, we started on working towards growing, working on dealing with our traumas. And it wasn't even so rigid either. It wasn't this is what I need to do now. It came up through conflict and it came up through fights, and then we're realizing, okay, maybe this is something I need to work on. So having God in the center of your relationship keeps you humble as well. Because if you have him in the center, then you're gonna be well, maybe it's not always the other person's fault.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something I do. Number 3, surround yourself with other like-minded people.
You know that saying where they say that you are who your friends are? Well, this is very, very true. If you're in a relationship and you choose to go to a single friend, not saying they're a bad person or anything, but if you choose to go to a single friend who's always giving you advice to just give up, just leave them, who cares about trying this and that, you're most likely gonna take that. And most likely gonna end up just giving up or not trying or not fighting for that relationship.
Right.
But if you surround yourself with a couple that is like-minded
Yeah.
and who is pushing you, hey, stay in that marriage, fight for that marriage, then you're most likely gonna continue, you're gonna stay, and you're gonna fight your battle.
Yeah, exactly. Having friends around you that are, you know, not necessarily bringing the best out of you and keeping things together. They want you to just, yo, forget it. Like, you can, yo, you know, there's a lot of fish in the sea. A lot of guys would say, like, there's more fish in the sea. And it's like, well, maybe that's my fish, you know? I like that fish.
I like that fish.
You know, maybe I got to do something in order to make sure that I'm there properly.
So you're surrounding yourself around those like-minded couples can really help you actually even stay accountable.
Right.
You have someone to run to or to push you and to say, hey, how's it going? Like, are you still continuing to work on this or work on that?
Yeah.
So that's why it's great to have those minded couples.
Exactly. Build you up.
Exactly.
They build you up.
Yeah. So that leads us to tip number 4. Join church groups.
Yes. Like, if your church has counseling, like couple group,
Or even singles.
even like whatever, if they have that, bonus. If they don't, if they have something in your age group, join it. We joined, we've been in a youth group, young adults group in our church. And shout out to 4190. They know what's good. They had a relationship series that really was so crazy. It was so good because you heard other couples. Some people were single. Some people were engaged. Some people who were married. And it was such great perspective hearing other couples talk. At the end of the day, sometimes it can feel like when you're going through things in your relationship that you're the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's refreshing to know, oh shoot, you're going through that too? Okay, so we're not that bad. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're on the right track,
We're on it.
Because sometimes we only can see what we see.
Yes, exactly.
And if we see, you know, let's say in a relationship is missing a little bit of chivalry, you know, a little romance. And if you see another couple on the gram or on Facebook or whatever, and it seems like they're so romantic, you don't even know. It could be deceiving. It could be the one time a year that he or she did that. You know what I mean? But then you're arguing in your relationship about something that is lacking because of what you saw.
Exactly.
So surrounding yourself and getting in a church group is awesome.
Yes.
Because at least in our church group, there was such vulnerability, authenticity, and it would really just help. Everyone was just wanting to grow.
Yes.
And so it was great getting around like-minded people.
Tip number 5, read books together.
Yes.
You guys, this is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
So we've read quite a few books. A book that we're still currently reading, and we've already mentioned before, is Boundaries in Marriage.
Yes.
This book has really just helped us so much and just learn about, you know what, boundaries are not bad.
Yeah.
You know, for a long time growing up, I thought that I couldn't put up boundaries because it makes me like a bad person. It makes me a selfish person. But you know what? Boundaries is something that could really save your marriage.
Yeah.
And when we say read books, and you don't always have to wait until marriage. That's one thing.
Right.
You can always do it before marriage because this is gonna prep you for when you head into marriage, so you're equipped with what you need.
You know, at least for me, I'd always think that the more that she was like me, the easier the relationship would be. I don't know who's there, but I was selfish in that way. Like, yo, she just thought like me or did things like me, it would be a lot easier because I wouldn't have to. And Boundaries in Marriage actually talks about...
but it just wouldn't be as fun. Anyways, go on.
It talks about, what does it talk about? It talks about basically how unique we are and how different we are. And we're always going to be unique. We're always going to be different. And actually, boundaries help us to be whole outside of each other and have a great relationship when we come together. So that's an example. We're going to put it in the description below. That's a great example of a book that you can read even before you're married.
Just to add to that, there is power in reading out loud.
Yes.
Aaron and I, oftentimes when we read the book together, we read it out loud because there's power in saying those things out loud. Oftentimes you may not feel, but sometimes when you say it out loud, it like activates that inside of you.
Exactly.
So there is power in reading out loud.
So tip number 6, guys.
I was like, 6.
Guys, take personality tests together. It's such a fun way to break the ice. And you're like, break the ice for a couple. You could be a new couple or a couple for 20 odd years, and breaking the ice can still be a way to make it fun. And we took some personality tests, and it's a really good way to get to know yourself and your
It also is a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
For when you get to know more, like you get to learn new things. Like, oh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
That maybe you yourselves, it wouldn't have come up otherwise.
Exactly. Great conversation starter. And it's hard, believe it or not, for a lot of people who've been together for a long time to talk about something new.
Yeah.
It's probably awkward, you're in your head, you're anxious, and it's rare and it's a blessing to be able to talk to your spouse about everything. That's what they're there for. Like being in a relationship and being dynamic and vulnerable is about being able to speak about anything. So I think this would break the ice and help you get started on some of the things that you like or dislike about yourself. Instead of dealing with yourself, keeping it in the closet, like you have help.
And knowing your spouse's or your couple's likes and dislikes also helps you know how to treat them. Knowing what they value and knowing their, for example, knowing their love language. That's one big thing. If I know that Aaron loves acts of kindness, me hugging him or me, telling him kind things isn't necessarily going to translate the same as it would if I had made him tea or if I get him something, because that's his love language. That's how he receives the love. So that's the way that it would be important for me to give it to him so that his fuel tank can be full. So same thing and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So that's why those personality tests are so important, so that you know how to just go about loving your spouse.
Tip number 7, our last tip is, babe.
You're actually relying on me. I thought you were gonna say.
I wasn't, but I think it's cool.
Okay,
Talk
babe.
about.
No, I'll do it. Talk about the hard stuff.
Yes. Talk about it. Sex, money, kids, finances. Oh, we already said money. Boundaries, career, plans to travel, what you like or like, where you want to live at. Like, guys, you should not be waiting till marriage to talk about this stuff.
No. You need to get to the root of things before marriage, so that when you are in marriage, like we said earlier, you're already equipped with all of these things.
I think at times, like when you're, especially in the dating phase, like this kind of stuff does get brought up. Like, oh, how many kids do you want?
Very surface level.
Surface level. Oh, we're gonna want 3 kids. I want to. I'm talking about how do you want to raise your children?
That's one big thing.
Where do you want them to go to school? How do you want them to learn? Milena is fascinated, and it is her job to study how children learn and how to teach them from a young age. And so that's amazing when we're talking about raising our child, because maybe some of the old mindsets that I have are not going to work with her ways of how she wants to raise her. So we got to compromise and we have to work together to do what is best for our future children. What do you like to do? Do you like to clean the bathroom, or do you like to cook? Do you like to take out the garbage?
These silly little things are actually very detrimental in your relationship if you do not.
That's what you're going to be going to counseling for.
Exactly.
When we took a counseling session, the dude was like, okay, so it may seem like small stuff, but he said a lot of people come to me about what movies to watch, what food or restaurant to go eat at, and we're like, yo, we're blessed. We don't argue about these things. It was a lot for us. It was past trauma that we brought into and how we dealt with stuff. But maybe you're not bringing past trauma. Maybe you're like, yo, I always hate that she leaves the toothpaste unopened, or she squeezes it in the middle and she doesn't squeeze it from the bottom. And now you're like, yo, on the brink of divorce, low key.
Because of a toothbrush and toothpaste.
It sounds dumb, but it can get under your skin. It can irritate you.
So talk about the hard stuff, even if it's toothpaste. Talk about it.
And if you have people in your ear like, yo, man, I hate when he does that. And they're like, yo, you should leave him, whatever. But if you have people in your ear saying like, bro, maybe you guys should go to couple counseling to get to know each other. Or other couples who argue about the same thing, so you can laugh about it.
You're like, okay.
You're like, okay, shoot, okay. They argue about it too. Like,
yes, we know relationships are not easy, but if you are expecting to break some chains, then just expect some hard work, because that is what it takes. The person
that I am now is hopefully will not be the person that I am in 10 years from now. I want to grow. And so having someone who's committed to growing, that you guys can grow together. You know what I mean? Like the tree, the roots is Jesus. That's what's holding you guys in the center. And then the branches, you can have your own branch, and you can have your own branch. You can live in harmony together.
You can have a branch. You can have a branch. You can have a branch. That's what it reminded me of.
One big tree. and pick your favorite fruit. If you want apples on your side, but she likes peaches, yo, go over there and have your peaches. I'm gonna have my apples, and it's okay because we're still
on the same tree.
we're on the same tree. So basically, what we're saying, guys, is that we hope this video just gives you a quick little refresher, maybe makes you laugh with your couple, with your significant other. If you're single, I hope it gives you a little bit of a more of a realistic view that relationships aren't what they get chopped up to be. So if you're hung up on some guy or some girl not hitting you back because this is what you need to complete you, bruh, I'm telling you, it's better. I'm telling you, it's better. I know you heard it, but it's better to be alone for a season than to be grieving for no reason. That just came to me first.
I know, I love that.
That's
I was
cool.
expecting the other one. Okay,
But anyways, basically what we're saying is that we hope this blessed you.
And just to add and end this video, this can be a form of counseling. Just simply watching a video of a couple speaking about their struggles or giving you tips or this or that. It's another form.
It definitely is. Like, whatever you do, do it together, do it in love, do it with God, and just watch it take shape. Growth takes time.
Yes.
And in our world now, we just see it like this. We see examples that are unrealistic of this growth that is just accelerated. And sometimes it happens like that, but other times it doesn't. It doesn't.
And we wouldn't even be here able to speak to you guys about these things unless we did the hard work before. And we're still continuing to do the hard work to this day. So it doesn't just show up like that. Believe me. Work hard. Do counseling if you need. In fact, everyone needs counseling. It's not even if you need it. Believe me, counseling is an amazing thing that you can do for your relationship, even for yourself. Like, so do it if you can.
Exactly. Because, like, guys, when we're not doing these videos, we're doing the exact same thing.
Basically.
Like, you don't just not have time because we're watching popcorn, watching Netflix. Like, guys, we're actually getting to the good stuff. So we love it that we can come out and pour out because we cannot pour from an empty cup. So when we come back, best believe we're full and best believe we're here for something to give you because we know that we have something worth sharing, right? And it's rare. It's very rare. And we want you to have it too because it's not an anomaly. It's not only for us. It's not only for other people. It's for every single person who wants it bad enough to grow. So we hope you love this video. Thank you for rocking with us. You already know what it is. It is Kingdom Culture TV. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
We are shifting culture by advancing kingdom culture.